Ready? Hey guys, welcome back to Seeking God in the Wait. I am Travis, and this is my beautiful wife, Johanna. And today's actually going to be a lot of fun because we're going to be talking about our story on how we met and how it all got started. And I think this is what really set it off as far as wanting to do these vlogs to really inspire you guys and encourage you guys is because of all the stuff that God has done in our life. And basically what we're trying to do is show people what it looks like or what it can look like or what it might look like for people that are just waiting. They're waiting for the next big thing in life, whether it's marriage or a job or whatever it is. For us, it was waiting for marriage. So Johanna, we're going to start off with you. A little question here, because I know you love talking about our story because it's pretty awesome. But how did it all get started?
Well, this was at the beginning of 2019. And
Before the pandemic, the craziness hit.
When life was still normal. And I had just gotten off the mission field about half a year earlier, maybe a little bit more. And you had been off the mission field for what, a year or so?
Probably a little bit longer, maybe two.
Yeah. And I was living in Germany, and I was living with a couple of girls. They were two sisters, and I loved them dearly. And I remember that New Year's Eve, or that, the turn of the new year, one of them she said, I just have a feeling that this is the year of love. And I kind of chuckled to myself, and I thought, well, that's because you're 24 and you just have this feeling that this could be the year of love, but I'm, 33.
Right. Year of love for you or for me? Who's this year of love for?
And I'm 33 at this point, and I'm a little bit more skeptical when it comes to this being the year of love, because, I just, had been waiting for so long, and I was like, we'll see. And I think I had started, because we've talked about this before, you've already met so many different people along the journey of life, and realized, you just don't fit with there's not a lot of people that you really click with on a level that you would say, hey, I could spend the rest of my life with you, so I just am fairly skeptical. I'm playing with the idea of maybe I won't get married, maybe I don't even need children, and I'm just gonna fully dedicate my life to serving other people, and who knows what God has next for me. And I'm working at a coffee shop and just making people's day a little brighter, and so I just I was hesitant. But every time I'd come back from some sort of event, my roommates both were like, so, did you meet anyone? And I was like, no.
Remember, it's a year of love. Come on. You have to meet somebody.
I just, wasn't meeting anyone. And the older one then said, hey, she just, in all honesty, said, I think we need to focus on you. You're the oldest of us three, and we need to get you, love. We need to find love for you. And I just thought it was so sweet and endearing. I didn't take it offensively at all.
She's like, you're the one that needs the most help in this. We're going to take all of our time.
Let's support Johanna because she's really struggling in this journey of love.
Calling up friends. Hey, what are you doing this afternoon? Johanna needs a little bit of help. Can we help her with this thing called love? It is the year of love.
Do you know anything? So she said, I just, meeting anyone around here, you've, been to different events and churches and blah, blah, blah. She goes, I just don't think you're going to meet anyone in this area. You need to go online. And that was the dreaded sentence for me of well, have you tried online? Have you gone online? probably a little pride in there, but I just didn't want to go online looking for my husband. I felt like, I don't know how this was for you. I felt like it was me saying, God, the time is ticking and I haven't found, you've not brought me anyone so far. So let me just take things into my own hands and look for them myself. That was kind of my feeling of what going online meant.
So it was kind of like a struggle, like, hey, I don't want to play God, but do I need to take that step of doing something?
I didn't want to intervene. I didn't want to intervene into God's plans. And I had once mentioned that to my mom, and she goes, well, like, since when can God not use online to bring someone? And I was like,
pure wisdom.
I guess he could, but it felt weird for me. And it just didn't feel organic or fun or just natural.
Or romantic.
I wanted a fun, romantic, cool story. So yes, we met online. And she just said, come on, let's just sign you up somewhere. What website do you want to go on to? And I was like, I honestly don't want to do this. But I said, I wanted to be open. And I said, I will try. I'll be open to most ideas and most things. And I said, there's only really one website that I could imagine going on to.
And it was beautifulgermanbrides.com?
No.
That's the one that I found you on, right?
No.
Oh, okay. I don't even know if that exists, by the way. So don't go looking.
No, it was a missionary website named Call Together. And I had heard about this years before. And the reason for me wanting, thinking that would be more of a place for me to go on, because missions had been such a big part of my life. Mm-hmm. And I knew that if I met someone who also had, interest in missions, or I've been on the mission field or whatever, I feel like we would connect more easy than someone who just kind of, stayed in their hometown for most of their life. So we just did a midnight action where she pretty much signed me up. Bullet points, what's the most important to you? What do you like? I just threw up 3 pictures, random ones. Travis thinks they were really bad looking pictures.
We'll get to that later. Next episode, when we tell my story.
And yeah, that was, just threw it out there. And I said, I'll do a month. She said, I'll even pay for your first month. I'll do a month.
And how much was that?
$1. But it was,
I'll do anything. Even pay that $1 to get you some love for this year, because it's a year of love.
And I said, well, I'll do it for a month, and then I've done it, and I can say I've tried it, and it's, I'll sign off.
So you didn't really do it to find love. You were skeptical. It was more of,
I was very skeptical.
I'll just do it to please my roommate.
I'll please you, and I can say I've tried it.
Right.
Because everyone was saying online, and everyone, I feel like half the world is met online. Mm-hmm. So yeah, did it, and the first month nothing really happened, and I said, sweet, gonna sign myself off of here, and great ministry. Great, it's people who have a heart for overseas missions or are open for moving internationally. So I thought it was such a cool idea and such a great ministry. Just wasn't for me at the time, because I felt like I'm not looking to go out on the mission field. I just got back from the mission field and, whatever. I just sign me off of here. So I tried to look for the delete button and I couldn't find it. I don't know why. I'm not that
computer illiterate.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. I, generally I'm pretty good with it, but I just couldn't find where I could. So I write the company and I'm like, hey, thank you so much for your ministry. You guys are doing an awesome job. It's just not for me right now. So could you please delete my profile? And the guy writes back and he's like, hey, no worries, no problem. Thank you for trying it out. But, I'll inactivate you, but I won't delete your profile in case you change your mind. A lot of people do. That you don't have to fill everything out. And I was like, okay, whatever. As long as I'm not paying any more money and, I don't get any more messages. And he's like, yeah, no, you won't message or be able to receive messages. You cannot do anything on the site. You're literally just, in our files. And so I was like, okay, whatever.
So they didn't delete you from the site.
No.
And you know my theory on that one is, my theory is that, well, beautiful, amazing woman, we need some more women on here to attract more guys.
But they couldn't write me.
That's okay.
Yeah.
At least you were still there for people to look at and be like, maybe there's a chance I can get her to come back.
Knock, knock. So, yeah, months pass and, you know, I'm just doing my job and loving life. And yeah, that's pretty much how that started. Mm-hmm. Until one day, out of the blue, I think 3 months later, I get this message from a guy who hasn't filled out his profile, hasn't even put his name in there. All he put in there was, I am forgiven. And threw up 3 pictures. But like, not even like close-up pictures. They were like side view or like from a really far distance and no information at all. Every other person's profile was like elaborate and like, I love Jesus and, you know, I love children and da-da-da-da-da. And I was like, okay. And he just said, you know, hey, I saw that you were in Malawi, in Africa, doing missions. What did you do there? Like, I just got back from Malawi a year ago, or I was there a year ago. I'd love to, you know, what were you doing there? That was it. It was no, I'd love to, or.
So that was this guy's like pickup line?
Your smile is beautiful and radiates like the stars in the heavens or anything like that. It was just like, you're in Malawi. What did you do? I was there too. I was like, okay, well, that's, you know, how cool. Like, he's not somewhere in India or, you know, China or wherever, like in the middle of some other country that I'd never been to, have no connection to. Like, this guy's actually been to my country that I've been working at for 8 years. And I thought that was interesting. And so I asked my roommates, I was like, hey girls, I somehow randomly did get a message, even though I thought I was inactive, from this guy. What do you think? You know, and they were like, yes, write him. Like, this is definitely write him. So I waited a couple of days and I was like, look, I'm not active anymore. I'd have to reactivate my account and start paying money. And so I go on there, I log in, and for some reason I was able to write him a message back. And I was like, this is weird. I thought I was inactive. I wasn't inactive. And I don't know if that was like divine intervention.
Well, it's God, but it was also them probably being like, we can't get rid of this amazing, beautiful woman.
Or if this company was like,
we might go under if we lose this one.
No, I think they were more like, this poor girl, she's already, you know, mid-30s. She needs a little help. Like, we're just going to leave her on here and let her be on here for free. So thank you, Call Together. We really appreciate it.
It's definitely divine. So,
so yeah, I write him back and I was like, yeah, you know, blah, 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 short and sweet. And he doesn't write me back. And I was like, shoot, he found some other girl and I missed my opportunity, whatever. Like, that's okay. And 2 weeks later, he writes and he's like, sorry, I just got back from India. And I was like, oh no, he is in India. But he was
Thailand,
just
by the way.
Well, India and Thailand.
And Thailand, yes.
Yeah. He's like, I was, you know, at a friend's wedding. And so I was like, okay. And that's when I said, what's your name? Like, all I know is your profile name was I am forgiven. You have been Mr. I am forgiven in our household for the last 2 weeks. And he's like, my name is Travis. And we connected over Facebook. And I think we've written every day since.
It is. So before we jump into go too far, we're going to cut it here because I'm going to tell my side of the story.
Okay.
Because then it's fun. But you're going to have to wait till the next episode. So in the meantime,
Mr. I am forgiven.
Mr. I am forgiven.
Just, you know.
But the flip side of the story is actually pretty funny too. So God was doing some pretty awesome things. So thank you for watching.
Yes.
And
moral of the story.
Moral of the story. What is the moral of the story?
Let's be open. You know, if we're waiting and we're desiring marriage, even if it's not the way that we expect it to look like, maybe we have this idea of how it should all happen or when it should happen. I definitely thought it was going to happen some point in my 20s, but it didn't. And I definitely hated the idea of meeting someone online. I even wrote a paper on it in college saying like how it's just not a legitimate way of meeting people, of your spouse. Like that's just kind of sketchy. So let's not be too proud.
God can use...
Put off the pride. God can use anything.
Anything.
You know? And so I think just being open, obviously a safe way, and in a thoughtful and prayerful way. But yeah, being open to all kinds of different ways and not putting God in a box.
That would be a very big box. So again, thank you guys for joining us on this episode. Look for our next one because we're going to say the flip side of the story, and it's actually going to be fun. And then we'll tie everything together, and you'll just see how amazing our God is and how our story has inspired so many different people. So thank you guys. God bless you guys.
Bye.
Bye.